All right, now we are on the last topic that we learned right before we left, and that is surface area. Remember, surface area, that's how much stuff is on the outside of a shape. So for example, surface area would be like, sorry, I'm upside down, but surface area would be like if I have my Starbucks cup, how much plastic did they use to make this cup? Or how much fabric did they use to make my laptop sleeve? Or how much cardboard did they need to make this pencil cup? That's surface area, how much stuff is on the outside. We learned surface area for rectangular prisms and for cylinders. Remember, you do get a calculator for these topics. Please use them because all you need to do is take your formula, tell your calculator what each of these letters is equal to, and it'll do all the work for you. So first off, our formula for surface area, remember, is 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 the width times the height, plus 2 the length times the height. We have to multiply all those numbers together. Really, it doesn't matter for this formula which is the length, the width, and the height. Because if I have it shaped like this, and then if I turn it so it faces this direction, and I turn it so it faces this direction, the length, the width, and the height change, but you're still multiplying all your numbers together times 2 and adding it up. So it really doesn't matter which is the length, the width, or the height. When I go through and do this, my length for me is usually that front one. So that would be the 6 inches. My width would usually be how deep it is. So on this one, I would label that as 13. And then the height, how tall it is, would be 4 inches. But again, it doesn't matter which is the length, the width, or the height. You're going to get the same thing every time. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go on Google, onto our calculator on Desmos, type in the formula, type in what the length, the width, and the height are, and it's going to do all the work for us. So go ahead, open up your calculator, and get into that. All right, so here we are in our calculator. We need to type in first our formula. Surface area, we're just going to use an S. If you use more than one letter, it will not work. You can only use S right here. Only use S. So surface area is equal to 2 times our length times our width, plus 2 our width times our height, plus 2 our length times our height. That's our formula. And then we have to plug in what we know. So our length is equal to 6. Our width is equal to 13. And then our height is equal to 4. And then we look up top right here, and it gives us our final answer of 308. Our units are going to be inches squared because all this length, width, height, those were all inches. We took them times each other, inches times inches. So that's going to give us 308 inches squared. And I'll write that on the paper in the next video for you. And like we saw when we plugged that all into our calculator, we got that our surface area was 308 inches squared. Because it's area, our unit is squared. It's how many of those little squares can we fit on top of that shape. Now moving on to the cylinder. Our formula, again, we got to make sure that we type it in the calculator right, otherwise we're not going to get the right answer. The formula for our surface area is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. A few reminders. This pi is a number. We need to use 3.14 for pi. And then the second one is that when we have this radius, the radius, remember that's halfway across a circle. So on this picture, That 5 yards, that's our radius. It's halfway across. Sometimes for your circle, it'll give you all the way across, which would be the diameter. If they give you that number all the way across, if they give you that diameter, if you divide it by 2, that'll give you the radius. So you might have to do a little extra work so you get the correct number for your formula. You need the radius. You need it halfway across the circle. Like we said, for this problem, our radius was 5. And here our height is 11. Again, we need to plug our formula, the radius and the height, into our Desmos calculator so that we can get our final answer. Go ahead, go over to the calculator and get that set up with me. Now, we need to do the same thing for the formula of a cylinder. So again, we start off with the formula S. It has to be S, not SA, just S. The surface area is equal to 2 times that number pi. We said pi is 3.14. I use parentheses for multiplication just to help me see the numbers better. So I have 2 times pi times my radius times my height. And you don't have to put that dot in the middle there. You can just have radius times height plus 2 times that pi again, 3.14 times our radius squared. To do the squared, you need to use this button right here. When we click on that button, it'll Andrea, our radius squared. There we go. It automatically puts in that exponent of a 2 for you when you click there. So now that we've got all that information put in, now we need to go into putting in our variables what everything's equal to. Our radius, we said, was 5. Remember, the radius that's halfway across your circle. The height was equal to 11. And then we see our answer up here, 502.4. And then again, our units here are going to be yards squared. Because we multiplied yards times yards, that's going to give us yards squared. You guys don't have this button here because the Virginia Desmos doesn't do this for you. But what that does is it automatically converts your number into a fraction. But you guys don't need that. This answer is a lot better. If you have any questions on this, please let us know for the calculators. We'd be more than happy to help you with them. As we found on the calculator, the surface area for this cylinder is going to be 502.4. What are the units? Yards squared. Again, it's area. How much stuff is on the outside? How many little squares could you fit on there? So our units need to be squared. Go ahead and go on to the review activities for this. Good luck, and if you need anything, please send us an email, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Don't forget to do Alex.